Alchemy is an online tool for filmmakers to use to manage the logistics of creating their films.
Alchemy login slash user creation page. So, as a director or crew member, the first thing I would want to do when using Alchemy is create a new account. And we can do that by clicking here. So, in this create account, we have three main entries: name, email, and password. Email and password must meet certain requirements. We can also choose an avatar here, a photo that'll come in handy later, and we can choose the position that we're taking. So let me just do that really quick. And just do like password. And I don't want to. And here we have an account successfully created. And an email will be sent over to this email with confirmation. Been set up, we can log in using the login form. And here we'll see a list of all the projects we've created. If we go to this taskbar here, we can see a network. And a network is basically a display of all the crew members working on the specific project. So here we can see Leo, Amitabh, Natalie, etc.
So once a director is logged into their account, they're brought straight to the projects page. And on the projects page, they can add as many projects as they want to. So in order to add a project, the director would have to click on the Add Project button and fill out the following information. So let me go ahead and fill out the project name, description, and add a picture as well. So once I added the project, the director can now do three actions. They can either like the project, or edit the project, or remove the project from the projects page. So let me go ahead and show how that works. So I'm going to change this project from Avengers to Spider-Man. And hit save. So now we see that the content of this project has been modified. Now, when the director clicks into the project, it takes them to a specialized page that shows them some details about the project. For example, we see the description of the project, and we also see three different icons. The first icon shows you how much of the project has been completed. The second icon shows you the different crew members that are involved in your project. And finally, the third icon is a call sheet that basically shows you a list of locations and shooting schedules. So once you click on this Alchemy icon on the top left of the screen, it takes you back to the projects page. And if the director wanted to remove the project, they can simply click on this button over here. And the project is gone from the page.
Hello, so one of the other components that we made for our website is this table that has a list of shots, starting times, duration, location of shots, just a bunch of information for each day where the cast, the crew, and the director can have an information of their schedule. So coming from the persona of a director, something that they might do is they can add the duration for each shot. So let's say shot 2B is going to take 5 minutes. Then it updates the time from 12:30 to 12:35. They can add a different time. And as they're going through the shot list for that day, for instance, let's say 2B actually doesn't take 5 minutes. Now it takes 4 minutes. So they can update that, and we can see everything else here gets changed as well. So they can also rearrange the shots. All of this is editable. So let's say they don't want to do 2B anymore and they want to do shot through 3D. They can do that and change that there. They can update locations and really customize this table however they want, as it is completely editable to them. Another persona that might be useful here is the crew. They can see when they're being called for the first shot, and they can see when they would have to be available for certain other shots, when breaks might be in the schedule. So that would be useful for them. Their access for this table, for instance, would not allow them to be changing the duration or the shot names or things like that. That permission should only be granted to the director. Also, the cast can see this and make sure that they are available at the correct location for a certain shot, as mentioned by this column. And as mentioned before, everything is reactive here. So the time here updates as a reflection of the duration of each shot. Another feature that we added were the tasks. So this would be also useful for anyone on the movie set, whether that be the director or the producer, or even if the crew needed to do something. But the personas that we mainly aim this to be used for were the directors and producers. So for instance, the producers would probably want to get funding for first shoot. So they could add that. The director would want to look through the auditions. They could add that. And it's a pretty simple to-do list. And then once they finish their list, they can just click done and they can clear the list. They can add other things as well as time goes on. Maybe like edit film. They can add that, and then once they're done, they can complete it. So it is nice just for them to keep track of their progress and things that they need to do to create priority of the list and be as efficient as possible.
So once we're in our project homepage, we see a list of navigation bar items that we could use. We could go back to our project home. We can take a look at our to-do list. We can look up specific crew members we might want to contact. We can generate a call sheet, take a look at our finances, look at our calendar and a map. So the component we'll be taking more of a look at right now is finances. So it's pretty straightforward. You can set some sort of total budget. Let's say a total budget of $5,000. From there, you can sort of start enumerating expenses you might have. So let's say set design makes up the bulk of what we're planning on spending on. Let's call that $2,000. We see this nice pie chart that's generated on our right here. Right now it's 100% of what we put in, but we could add other things. We probably want to pay for a crew. So let's say we want to pay all of our crew $1,000. We can see our crew also gets a new spot in the pie chart. And likewise, you can do a similar thing for cameras. Maybe you want to rent some cameras, and maybe you want to also pay for some nice lighting. You can do all of that. So we can see this sort of pie chart and expense flow would be really useful for someone like a producer who would be able to come in and put in all the potential costs and get a good idea of what sort of the financial status of the movie project is at a certain point in time.
The calendar is one of the most important features of our project. It can only be modified by the director, but it can be viewed by the casting crew members. To access the calendar page, the user would have to click on the navigation drawer on the top left, and then click on the calendar icon. And to add an event, they would have to click on any of the slots that are on the calendar and then add a name for the event. Once they do that, all they have to do is click on the OK button and it should be saved on the calendar. They should also be able to see the event under the All Events tab on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, this event should also be reflected on the calendars of the cast and the crew members. Finally, to remove the event from the calendar, the director would have to click on the event and then click on the OK button on the pop-up. And that's how you use the calendar page.